Are we a modern city or are we an over leveraged HOA that can't handle a rainstorm? All right, court is in session. Let's have a conversation about basements in Vancouver and specifically the district in North Vancouver. So, we've talked a lot about in the past on my like site videos and certainly on the podcast, and this is just more of an informational video, not necessarily a podcast video, but just an informational video for everybody to talk about basements in the district of North Van specifically. And it looks like it's starting to make its way to Vancouver as well. Our beloved bureaucrats, politicians, and environmental departments have taken it upon themselves to more or less effectively ban the creation of basements. And the rationale they say behind it is that we're harming the environment by pulling water out of the ground and putting it into the stormwater system. And it therefore the water is getting to streams too quickly. If the city is concerned about water getting into the streams too quickly, would not and should not it behoove those municipalities to engineer and construct their own infrastructure that their property tax dollars or the property taxpayers are paying property taxes on? Should not those cities and municipalities be constructing their own infrastructure to accommodate and deal with this stormwater situation? On what planet does it make sense to offload the responsibility for stormwater management to an individual homeowner, right? Like, how does that make sense? We've got an infrastructure incompetence tax, and the current policy is effectively penalizing homeowners for the municipality's failure to maintain public assets. They're using private property rights as a buffer for public infrastructure neglect. If the storm system can't handle a modest increase in density, it's because the city has failed to its core mandate of utility maintenance and anticipation. It's not because a basement suite is an environmental threat. Why are taxpayers being denied the use of their own land to cover for decades of deferred municipal maintenance? Like, this is really important to make sure that we put blame where blame is due, and that is at the feet of our local politicians and our local bureaucrats. But it's really the elected officials that we are electing that are making these choices to not prioritize the spending on infrastructure. And I get it. Spending money on infrastructure probably doesn't get a lot of votes because it doesn't get a lot of people excited. It's kind of like buying a home or getting ready to sell a home. Let's use that as an example. It's not dissimilar to getting a home being ready for sale and replacing the drain tile. While the new owner is going to be really grateful and appreciative that there's new drain tile around their house and that their home isn't going to flood, they're probably not going to be willing to pay any more for that because they can't see that the drain tile work has been done, right? Unfortunately, like generally speaking, a lot of people don't put a lot of value on infrastructure, which is a mistake, honestly. And my hope is through my videos and through my content, I get people to think and care more about infrastructure because it is so important. Like I kind of sort of led off with a little bit there, we're weaponizing the environment against the poor. So stormwater concerns are frequently used as a green tape to block affordable housing without appearing anti-density, right? By citing stormwater management to block basement suites, we're prioritizing perfect drainage over the human right to shelter. This is kind of like NIMBYism by proxy. So is a hypothetical 1 in 100-year flood event more dangerous to our community than the current 100% certain homelessness and affordability crisis? I'm going to say no. We need more homes. We need more places for people to live. And basement suites have, for the longest of time, served as an opportunity for people to be able to afford a home so that they can rent a basement out to somebody. In many other cases, and this is part of the goal of the provincial government, I believe, was to create homes that would allow for generations of families to live within the home. So having a basement suite would also, provide people the ability to have loved ones live in the home while not necessarily living with you. I mean, let's be honest, we all probably love our families, but Do we want them living directly with us? You be the judge. You decide. So, basement suite has served as a great place to allow families to stay together. And like I already said, it allows people to take on a greater mortgage because you can offset your mortgage payment by the rent that you're getting paid. So, it's a win win. And also, a basement suite offers affordable housing options to people that are looking for housing. So, why not go back to the way things were? And District of North Van and City of Vancouver, if you're thinking about going down this path, don't. Just don't. Figure things out on your own side. Do not put the onus on property owners to deal with your incompetence. Get your infrastructure fixed. Come up with systems and processes and protocols that will allow people to build basements the way that we have done and did do for the last 20 to 50, well, I mean, since we started constructing homes in North Vancouver or across the Lower Mainland. And I mean, I don't know where you live, but I mean, if you maybe you don't do basements where you are either for whatever reason, I don't know. In North Van, we've been constructing basements and use sump pumps to pump out the basement for decades. And yes, there is a requirement and a need to keep those sump pumps maintained and make sure that they work so your basement doesn't flood. But at the end of the day, they work and they offered people an opportunity to rent out a part of their home that didn't really impact them and allowed them to rent it out to somebody who is in need of shelter. So, math of missing revenue, basement suites provide gentle density that pays for itself, whereas stalling them creates a stagnant tax base. My point is that every basement suite that's blocked is a lost opportunity for increased property tax revenue that could be used to fund the very infrastructure upgrades that we need to have made, right? That we're lacking. My beloved government officials and bureaucrats, you're creating a death spiral of underfunding because you're not allowing people to construct these units and construct these homes. So you're choosing to maintain, from where I can sit anyways, a broken system rather than allowing the private sector to help fund the solution through gentle increased density. Now, we come into the inconsistency in permitting argument. You know, municipalities are often approving commercial pavement heavy developments with massive parkades and parking lots that are completely non-permeable. And so you're now stopping all of that rain from going into the ground because the surface is paved. But, you know, mom and pop homeowner can't build a basement suite because the water is going to go into the stream too quickly. Like, pick your argument. A lot of times we hear, you know, liability versus responsibility arguments from officials, and they're hiding behind liability as an excuse for inaction. You know, the city is fearful of there being floods or whatever else because the stormwater network gets overburdened or whatever else, and so they're not allowing us to build these basements and pump the water and deal with it as we need to traditionally, again, right? For fear of flooding. Well, the fear of flooding is not because the basement's being pumped. It's because you are not doing your job to improve your infrastructure and adapt and adopt to the times. Like we cannot allow our municipalities to continue to underfund infrastructure issues. And you know, I've talked to multiple councillors and mayors over the years. And, you know, more often than not, especially here in Vancouver, when I say infrastructure, they immediately think that I am talking about how fucked up our highways and roadways are and how bad the traffic is. It is atrocious. And I think it almost doesn't matter where you go. Like look at the traffic in LA, for God's sakes. It's a show down there. And certainly Vancouver traffic does not even touch that gong show. When I talk about infrastructure, I am talking specifically about the things that we have come to more or less need to live, quote unquote, civilized life. And, you know, it's really three things, mostly two, but certainly three things. One is water to drink. Two is a place for sewer to drain. And three is infrastructure to remove unwanted water from our properties. That's stormwater. When I talk about infrastructure, I mean, the other piece that I talk about when I talk about infrastructure is also hydro and gas. And it doesn't seem to me that natural gas is being talked about as being an issue in terms of us not having enough capacity in the gas lines in the roads, or enough capacity to produce natural gas. Really, are limiting factors in this day and age from everything that I'm reading and that I'm seeing in a real time basis is that water is a finite resource. Kind of sort of not in Vancouver because it rains a lot here. But nonetheless, during the summer, it doesn't rain. And we only have two reservoirs that are holding water for the entirety of, well, not the entirety, but for a good chunk of the lower mainland. And so we continue to add people, but we don't continue to add reservoirs and the ability to capture and hold more water for the summer season. So there's infrastructure. Number one, fresh water, drinking water. Number two, sewage. So not only do we need to deal with getting the sewage from our homes to the sewage treatment plant, but then the sewage treatment plant needs to have enough capacity to deal with these additional humans that are dealing with what one could consider regular bodily functions. And so, that stuff needs to get dealt with, right? So you got to have pipes in the ground and they got to have a sewage treatment plant to deal with what comes through those pipes. And then finally, stormwater, right? Like, I mean, it rains everywhere, but it certainly rains here in Vancouver. So you got to deal with that. If I'm an environmentalist and I am like absolutely obsessed with making sure that water isn't getting into our streams and whatever else, well, the second we start putting that responsibility onto the homeowner, we're now taking the control out of our hands. And there is nothing stopping a homeowner from just bypassing whatever stormwater infiltration tank or detention system they have and just going direct to the storm connection after the fact anyways. If we are concerned about how much water is going into the streams, build your own holding tanks on your own property, underneath the streets, whatever you need to do so that people can build the homes that they have come accustomed to being able to build. Take responsibility for what is yours to take responsibility for and stop offloading responsibility to homeowners. That's not the right way to do things. Governments need to take accountability and responsibility for what property taxpayers and just taxpayers in general are paying you to do, which is your jobs. Take care of our infrastructure, keep it up to date, make sure it gets fixed. Let's try not to have something happen in Vancouver, what happened in Calgary, where a water main burst and they weren't able to take showers and wash their dishes for a month or two or whatever it was last year. It's ridiculous. It's pure incompetence. Let's stop it today.